someone understood the assignment, and that assignment being self-awareness. And you've been on quite the journey, taking some serious inventory in your life. We've got quite a bit of water energy in this spread, but whoever this is for, we start this out with the Eight of Cups. You have been on this quest with yourself to really take a hard look at why you've been doing the things that you have. You felt like you always had to make this choice. And really, in the cards here, we've got, the Fool in reverse, the Hangman in reverse. Every time you were looking at this decision, like you felt like you were constantly in a state of fight or flight. Like you were either the martyr sticking around, trying to fight for spaces that really didn't serve you, or you were running away from things and thinking you were, starting all over. So you either had this runner mentality or you had this martyr mentality. And it seems like your team had been giving you what they're calling red flags. Like they've been dropping them for a long time. And you felt them, but you weren't really ready to accept them. So as a result, maybe you feel like your team's been a little bit more quiet than usual, or this or that, but you have been having to play out almost cycles within cycles, I'm being told. And when I say that, it's like because you were in this fight or flight mentality, like you had to play out the cycle of the runner. And when you ran, you may have made some rash or like snap decisions without really thinking about it, and like in turn you may have really come from like a space of ego. And when your ego gets too loud, it's almost like playing with fire. And when you play with fire, you get burned. And so once you got burned, you went back to start again. Well, then you chose your next path, or your perceived next path. So this time you're not the runner. This time, you're the fighter. You're going to sacrifice yourself in the name of, whatever it is you think you're sacrificing yourself for. You are in that martyrdom, or that, I got to be the martyr syndrome. It's really odd because martyr came up yesterday too in a message that I got. But that's what you've chosen. These were your two comfort paths. These were the things that were essentially holding you back. But like, you've been on this journey, and you've done both these cycles. You've been the runner and you've been the martyr, and you're realizing that neither of them are working for you because it was only a perceived illusion. And that illusion was that you had to choose one or the other. The bridge card here, it's the sun card. This was you, your source, your light. You lit your path, and it was always a straightforward path because the choice was always choose you. It wasn't to sacrifice yourself as a martyr. It wasn't to try to outrun something, because the bottom line is you cannot outrun yourself. So as you realize that you were the only one who was going to light up your path, you were the only energy that was going to remove you from this fight or flight mentality. Once you did that, you come into your high priestess, your conscious and your subconscious. You're no longer the Fool in reverse or the Hangman in reverse. You're bridging that space. You're understanding that you are the source of energy in your life. Nobody is going to change or move things out of your path but you. You are going to walk through the darkness, but you are the light through the darkness. You are on the journey to be remembering that you were the start. You are remembering who you are and the great things that you came here to do. But the thing is, you have to get out of your own way. And you were the only one in your whole way this whole time with that fight or flight mentality. And that's why I said, you started your journey with the Eight of Cups. All your cups were empty. You got the moon, you got the Pisces sign right here. So I said heavy water energy here. But the whole point is you went on this quest where you had to become self-aware. You couldn't let people plant seeds in your mind about, you're the problem, or you're this or you're that. No, you're making yourself the problem because you're either running or you're fighting. You're fighting the natural path, which your natural path is forward. It's one step at a time. But you were, instead of going one step at a time, you were taking one step forward and then two steps back. And like I said, your team was throwing you these red flags all along. They were trying to get your attention, like, you know, this isn't how this has to be. You don't have to take the long way around. But because you were doing one step forward and two steps back, you were bouncing back and forth between being fight or being flight, being the Fool in reverse or being the Hangman in reverse. So you were just doing this tap dance with yourself when really you just had to get control of your own feet and move forward. It's always been about forward motion. Stop looking in the past. You can't change it. Stop worrying and stressing about the future because it hasn't happened yet. The bottom line is you are the sun in your life. You are your own creative energy. You are your way out. Whatever issue you're having, whatever path you're on, whatever perceived choice you think you have to make, it's forward motion every time. You are the sun and you are the star. Fix your crown and put your feet to the ground. One step at a time. Love you guys.